Yeah, good morning, everyone. So for today's demo, I'll be showing you what our vCloud Director interface looks like and how to just perform typical operations within the vCloud. So usually, once we create a vCloud environment for our customers, login details are usually sent to the customer, which you could use to log on to the portal. So on getting on the portal, the first thing you'll come across is the dashboard. The dashboard shows an overview of the allocations to the customer environment and the current usage. So from the dashboard, you can see how much CPU memory and RAM, how much CPU memory and storage has been allocated, and how much you've actually consumed already. So for the purpose of this demo, what I will be doing, I'll just be doing a couple of activities. I will be showing you how to spin up a virtual machine from a template. I'll be showing you how to edit the resources allocated to a virtual machine. That's the CPU and the memory, and also the storage. I would also show you the functionalities of the vApps and how to create a vApp. I would also show you how to add a virtual machine into a vApp, and also how to create a boot, stop, and start order. For subsequent videos, we will dive much more into the intricacies around creating networks and creating edge security, creating the edge gateway security rules, and the other functionalities around vCloud. But for now, it will be limited to vApps and the virtual machines section, and how to carry out basic operations within the vApps and the virtual machine. So to start off with, what is a vApp? A vApp is basically a collection of virtual machines. So I can have, for example, we currently have 3 virtual machines within this vCloud environment. We can choose to group these 3 virtual machines into a single vApp. So a single vApp would contain multiple virtual machines. So as you can see here, this current vApp has the 3 virtual machines within the vCloud contained in it. So we will be creating our own VMs from scratch, and then we will be grouping them into vApps, and we'll show you how that works. So the first task is to create a new virtual machine. How do we go about this? This is quite simple. You can create a new VM within just a couple of clicks, and you have a virtual machine running already. So while creating a new VM, the first thing you're asked to do is to of course name your virtual machine. So I will be naming this demo VM1. So you would notice if you space out the naming of your VM, you would always have an error come up. So spaces are not allowed, so you would have to use special characters instead. You have 2 options when you're creating your virtual machine. You can either create a new virtual machine, or you can spin one from a template. So what we've done here is we've pre-populated the library with a number of templates. These are the most used templates, both Linux and of course Windows templates for VMs. So you can choose to spin up from one of the pre-populated templates. If you're spinning up from a pre-populated template, it means the compute and the memory has already been predetermined. You can, in the future or after spinning up the virtual machine, choose to adjust the CPU and the memory sizes, but at the initial stage, they will spin up with the pre-configured configurations that the template already has. So what I'll be doing for this instance, I'll be spinning up an Ubuntu. I'll be picking our Ubuntu template to spin up this virtual machine from. If I do choose to spin up a new VM, what this means is I will be able to select the guest OS that I require, a number of options here, but what this also means is I will be providing the boot image, so I can preload a boot image and add it to my catalog, and then use that boot image for spinning up my VM. And this would also give me the flexibility to actually choose the amount of CPU or memory that I want to allocate to my VM. But like I said earlier, we wouldn't be spinning up a new VM. What we'll be doing is we'll be picking up one of the templates that we already have for the purpose of this demonstration. And the next thing is to create choose a storage policy. So I have only attached one storage policy to this VDC. The VDC is the virtual data center simply. So I've only attached one storage policy to this VDC, but for customers that create multiple storage policies, depending on what you want, the policy you want to allocate to your VM, you could choose if you have a drop down of different options here. So like I said, the CPU, the cores per socket, and the memory are already predetermined because I'm loading up from a template. Also, in future demos, we'll be showing you how to create different networks within your VDC. But for this very demo, we've already just created one internal network, which we'll be attaching this VM to. So just like that, I can go ahead and click OK. And once I click OK, if I come to my running task here, I can see my VM being composed already. So you can monitor the progress of all running tasks from the recent tasks tab. So we can see this coming up already. So what I will be doing is I will just repeat this process a couple more times. I want to create 2-3 demo VMs, and I want to be able to add this into a vApp. So I'll go ahead and do that. So just in similar fashion, quickly, and there we go for the second VM, and then I would create yeah, so you can see my demo VM1 is ready. Demo VM2 is still finalizing, and I just created my demo VM3. So one of the quick things I would like to show you is the actions that you can carry out on a virtual machine. From the action tab itself, you can choose to power on. Of course, this VM is already on, so you can choose to power off the VM, or you can choose to shut down the guest OS. You could also choose to suspend the VM to so if you have a VM that is running but you don't want to power it off but you want to suspend the operation, you can choose to do that from this tab as well. I wouldn't be doing any of that, but there are a number of actions that you can cover within the action tab. Later on in another demo, I will show you how to create a snapshot and how to revert to a snapshot or to remove a snapshot from a running virtual machine. But what we'll be doing here is we will try to show you how to edit the resources on a VM. So quickly, we would go into the details tab. So this of course shows us more actions that we can carry on, and on a more interesting level for each of the components within the virtual machine. What I would like to show you here is how to edit the compute resources, so the CPU and the RAM of a virtual machine that is running. So what you would notice is the VM is currently powered on. So if I do try to edit the VM resources, say for example I'm trying to increase the resource from this to this, and then I'm trying to increase the memory also from 2 to 4. So we can see that action also running here. So you can see that this action has failed. The reason why this has failed is because we didn't enable the auth add feature within the virtual machine. So the alt-add feature, simply explained, is a feature that allows you to be able to on the go edit the resource allocation to a VM without needing to turn the virtual machine off. So this feature, you can see it here, the virtual CPU alt-add. Once you enable this, it means you can on the go edit the CPU resources of a running virtual machine. And if you also turn the memory alt-add feature on, same, you can edit the memory of a running virtual machine. So what we will do here, before enabling it, we will power off this virtual machine. So now that we've powered off the virtual machine, the next thing to do is we would now go back to the virtual CPU alt-add feature, and we would enable this and enable this, right? So go ahead and save that. So now that this has been enabled, I would now show you how we can, so we would power on the VM, and then we would attempt to edit the resources, the compute resources. Yeah, so the VM is powered on, and now I would go into the VM and try to upgrade this from 2 to 4, and also this from 2 to 4 without turning off the virtual machine. And let's see if this works now. Okay, so this fails, and the reason why it fails is because I do not have enough memory allocation within the virtual machine, within the VDC, to allow for me to be able to upgrade above this size. So to fix that, what I will do is I can go back to one of the VMs I created, or one of these rather, and I could just delete this to allow for more space within the environment. So these are all test VMs, by the way, so that's why I am able to delete those. So I would go back here now, and again, hopefully it works now. Try to increase this while the VM is turned on. It seems it's still not enough, so let's make this 3 and let's make this 4 and save. Yes, so you could see this last action succeeded. So I was able to increase the CPU from 2 to 4, and I was also able to increase the memory from 2 to 3, while the virtual machine is completely still powered on. So the CPU alt-add feature basically allows you to, on the fly, while the VM is powered on, to adjust the allocation to both the memory and the CPU. So also for storage, you could also edit, you could increase the amount of storage allocated to a VM on the fly. So the storage does not have an alt-add feature. So what this means is it allows you to be able to adjust the storage Though sometimes when you do adjust the storage, for you to extend and have that usable storage available, you might need to reboot the virtual machine and then claim the new space. But from the UI itself, from the VMware Cloud Director itself, you're able to adjust the storage size on the go. So you can see I just increased from 5 to 10. Within the VM itself, I might need to expand and claim that space, but you're able to adjust from the monitoring tab, from the VMware Cloud Director UI. So what I'll do is we'll be splitting this. We'll be splitting the demo into two parts. What we've been able to show you here is how to create new virtual machines from templates and how to edit the resource allocation on those new virtual machines. In the next part, I'll be showing you how to create a vApp and group those virtual machines into vApps. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.